Alright, welcome everybody to another mixing video. Today we're going to be looking at part 6 of mixing a song start to finish. Last time we mixed the drums, so hopefully today we'll go ahead and finish up the rest of the instruments, so that way in the next part 7, we can focus primarily on the lead vocal here. So I actually tracked the electric guitars as well as the electric bass here. So I know that I was already compressing and EQing on the way in, EQing and compressing to tape, so to speak. So there's not really much I want to do here, if anything. I think that I actually pretty much covered most of the processing here on the group level. So I'll take a listen to it, but more than likely I'm not going to do any processing there. So since we're here on the guitar parts, I'm going to go ahead and start with the acoustic and then this little intro part, and we'll get going from there. Okay, so let's go over what I did there. Um, I'm gonna come back to this guitar lead and do a little bit of processing there, but let's just go over what I've done so far. So as far as acoustic guitar, basically just cleaned up some frequencies, added a little bit of top. This 1.5 was just a little too bright for me. Got rid of some of this muddiness here, and I added some body in at it's actually really close. 322 here, and then I'm cutting at 336. So adding body as well as getting rid of muddiness at the same time. Then just a little bit of compression just to sort of even things out a little bit, and then adding some top end here with this harmonic exciter, and then adding some wow and flutter on that intro guitar part, sort of darkening it up, adding a little bit of gain, not gain but saturation here from the console, darkening things up, getting rid of some of that string sound or sort of ice pickiness, and then cleaning up some mud, just compressing it a little bit, and then adding some body here with the 1073 as well as some saturation to make it sound more realistic, because as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this is a sampled guitar. So same thing, same processing here. Just added the revival and darkened it up a little bit more on the 1073, just to make them sound different. To me, they already sounded different enough for me to not have to do like complementary EQ or anything like that. But I still wanted to EQ them slightly differently. And then added a tube delay. This is quickly becoming my favorite guitar delay. And the reason I was playing it and stopping it was because I wanted to hear how long that decay was. And I set it up to ping pong to go left and right, to kind of get some of that stereo spread. And this delay is also going to play when this guitar lead is playing. So let's listen to that, and we'll do a little bit of processing there, and then I'll explain what's going on. Alright, so let's check that out. Um, basically, oops, excuse me there. Basically I added some WoW and Flutter to give it some depth. Um, just console emulation. And the reason I decided to use an LA2A is because to me this is sort of that lead part that I played there. I was kind of mimicking the pre-chorus melody a little bit, so I wanted to give it somewhat of a vocal tone. And if you know the LA2A, you know that this is used a lot on vocals. So yeah, I tried to give it a little bit of a vocal tone. And 1073 is great on vocals as well as guitars. So I use my vocal setting that I usually use. And yeah, the reason I use the Waves one is because there's a lot of first off, I used an LA2A on the bass, but this is a different LA2A, so it's naturally going to have a different color to it. And same with this 1073, because there's a lot of 1073s in this session, so just to make it stand out, I used a different emulation of it. So let me loop some of this here. And I'm gonna go ahead and work on the piano a little bit, as well as the arpeggio. So let's listen to everything. And like I said before, I don't think I'm gonna make any changes on my guitar parts that I played, other than the lead part, of course, and in the bass. So yeah, let's check it out. Okay, so let's check that out. Basically on piano, I like to add wow and flutter because it gives, like I've been saying, it gives some depth. But it kind of takes away from it if you give that wow and flutter to every track. But these are sort of like background sounds to me, the piano as well as the arpeggiated synth. So that's why I mix them like that. I'll start top to bottom on this EQ here. There was a little bit of like pokiness in this piano, so I just dialed back some of the top end with a high shelf. This 3K, I've been cutting that out of a lot of tracks, and this actually helped it have a tone of its own. This 1.5, I didn't really like that. I added a little bit of 240 to add some body, and then high passed at 60 to make room for that kick drum, and then just compressed it to make it a little more even, as well as using the attack and release times to make it sit back in the mix. So yeah, that's pretty much it for both pianos. I just copied the settings over. I'm gonna have to readjust the volume here of this verse piano. But anyway, moving on. So the arpeggiated synth, I just wanted to basically distort this as much as, not necessarily as much as possible, but give it a good amount of saturation, as well as some wow and flutter. On the console here, I'm driving it pretty hard. For the EQ, making room for the kick again, adding some low mids here at 369, which is around what I've been cutting from all the drums and some of the other instruments, so that just helps it fit in that space. Cutting some of that 1.5 out also, and giving it some air here at 16K. Same thing with the compression. This is just to sort of even it out and make it sit back in the mix. Fattening it up with some thickness, brightening it with some shimmer, and then once again getting some of that saturation from the analog components of the 1073. So yeah, that pretty much takes care of all the instruments here. Electric guitar I tracked with plugins, didn't really need anything. Same with the guitar bass double here. The bass amp and bass DI, same thing, recorded it with plugins and had a tone in mind, so all the processing that needed to go on there happened at the group level. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. Next time we'll take a look at the lead vocal, and we'll add some effects, and From there, maybe do some automation and then some finaling touches on the master bus with a limiter, and this track will be done. So I hope that this series has been helpful so far. I hope that you guys have learned some new things. I hope you guys are liking this song as well as this mix. And I really hope that you stick around to the end of this series. So thank you once again so much for watching this. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs down. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, as I always say. And if you really like this, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you once again so much, and I hope to see you in the next part of this video series. Have a great day.